words embody one of history's greatest leaders. A leader who had a dream and changed the world. Thank you, Dr. King.
Welcome inside the jungle on the campus of Auburn University, one of the best home crowds in all of college basketball. Tonight, the Tigers take on the visiting South Carolina Gamecocks. Hi, folks, and thanks for joining us. He is the shooter, Pat Bradley. I am Mike Morgan. Great to be with you. Pat, we talk so much about resumes this time of year. It's late January, but you can make your march in late January. Games like this, huge for Auburn.
Well, Mike, it's all about taking care of home court advantage, and Auburn knows that well in this tough arena, Neville Arena. Keyshawn Hall is going to be the key for Auburn. He is a dynamic scorer, gets to the free throw line more than anybody in the league, can shoot the three, can post you up. He is going to be the leader for this Auburn squad on the offensive end today.
Take a look at that tournament resume. Right now, Joe Lunardi has Auburn as a 10 seed. One of the last 4 buys, but that's precarious. You cannot afford a home loss in this situation if you're Auburn, or you could fall far behind. Meanwhile, for South Carolina, the Gamecocks, this would be a huge resume builder, obviously a quad one opportunity. And the biggest win of the season, and Carolina can pull it off. Beachy Johnson of the Gamecocks and guarded Auburn in white, 9,121 strong here in the jungle, the 79th consecutive sellout. As you see Murphy getting in the passing lane and knocking it out of bounds. The Auburn starting 5, led by Keyshawn Hall. Tahad Pettiford actually plays much better on the road than he does at home this year. Coach Stephen Pearl would love to see that trend flip a little bit. See the young man put it all together at home as well. From the elbow, it's strong, rimming in, hitting every part of the rim and dropping down.
Yeah, the big fella's got a real soft touch. He can shoot the three. He's proven that against LSU when they went in there. He knocked down some deep shots. You got to find him because he can hurt you.
Both these teams coming off a game they just soon forget. Auburn did not play well at Mizzou as Pettiford splashes home the three. Let's see if that can get him going. He's 28% from downtown.
He said, Mike Morgan, I can shoot it at home. Watch this.
That's right. See the starting 5 for the Gamecocks. Beachy Johnson coming off a 29-point performance at Arkansas. Really the only player that had a good game in Fayetteville. How about another baseline jumper silencing the crowd? Elijah Strong with a quick start for the Gamecocks.
Right, so Coach Parrish uses him as a pick and pop guy. He also uses him in that mid-range post, so you've got to respect that.
The former Boston College Eagle gives the Gamecocks a 4-3 lead. Williams Adams, number 33 in white, the freshman, getting the start tonight. They go down low, reverse layup, no good, defended well by Studi. Carolina controls it.
Yeah, known as a three-point shooter, Studi's a big, strong, physical guy that can defend the post.
Studi ordinarily loves the three.
They got that mismatch there. Elijah Strong again.
Studi pulls the trigger on a three. Right on line, but a little too strong. Here comes Auburn. Pettiford. Pettiford slicing, dicing, throws it up there, and cannot get the bounce. Tapped around and finally teared away by Elijah Strong. Already 4 points and a rebound for Strong.
What makes South Carolina so dangerous is their defense. They got good footwork. You don't need help. They guard the basketball really well. So if you're going to try to go one-on-one, they're going to make you take tough twos.
Jump pass by Sharab jumps. Into the hands of Knox, who lost the handle. Loose basketball picked up by Auburn. Here comes Pettiford on the break. Pettiford all the way. Pettiford stripped and fouled by Beachy Johnson.
Good job right there, cutting off the dribble by Tahad Pettiford. I'm sure Coach Stephen Pearl's excited about that, as he has been emphasizing defense. And you and I have done many games here in the past. And my goodness, when that defense is engaged in this arena, it's very difficult to replicate that in any place in the country.
Pettiford too strong on the first free throw. Yeah, Coach Pearl today in shoot-around telling us, we're fine offensively. We're 9th right now nationally in points per possession, but we're 90th defensively. If we can get the defense to catch up to the offense, everything will be fine on the Plains.
Certainly, part of that is prioritizing it, but I like this full court pressure here because that now puts your players in a defensive, aggressive mindset. Let's attack that offense.
Strong steps into a three, misfires, and Auburn clears it. Keyshawn Murphy, the former Mississippi State Bulldog.
And Auburn realizes South Carolina is going to play very slow.
Great defense that time, absorbing the blow is Elijah Strong. And big guy barreling right in, Williams Adams. Sharab jumps, runs out of real estate, throws it off the bottom of the backboard. He had a really rough game in Fayetteville, and they need him to play well if they're going to pull off a road win today.
Well, he's the most versatile guy, okay? At 6'9", he can handle the basketball. He's played point guard for this team in the past. This season, obviously, he can shoot it. He's an athletic player, so he's just got to continue to build on his confidence and his role.
Gamecocks little trap up top. Auburn works it around the perimeter over to the right wing. Here is one of the top scorers in the SEC and misfiring on his first shot. That is Keyshawn Hall, averaging 21 points a game. He averages 26 at home. Ball comes down low, a bobble, a kick out. Over the hands of Johnson. He loves those logo threes if you give him some space.
This is a big logo Auburn has.
That is not Michi's strength, dribbling into heavy traffic. Here comes Pettiford. Drive and kick, Overton. This is everything. Offensive rebound, rejected. Great block by Asimian. Shot clock at 10 for Pettiford. Whips it into the corner. Open three, off the mark. And a rebound collected by Michi Johnson. 4-4 game. We're in a break zone, approaching the 15-minute mark of this first half. Carolina has lost 7 in a row to the Auburn Tigers. 53rd beating all time. Deep three, like I said, he loves the logo. Called it. A little too strong that time for Michi. Auburn coming downhill all the way. Wild shot just out of control was Overton.
Great example. South Carolina's defense, great footwork. They're going to stay in front of the basketball. You've got to move, play a movement, ball movement, attack, get in the paint, and then kick out for a shot.
Where does the offense come from besides Michi for the Gamecocks? Inside, and swallowed up that time. Simeon had no chance, and that is an easy bucket on the other end for Keyshawn Hall.
Well, Auburn is committed to getting out in transition. You want to speed South Carolina up. That's where Auburn's going to have their advantage. South Carolina wants to be patient offensively.
Studi backing in on the smaller Pettiford and then stepping right on the baseline. Turnover for the team that commits the least turnovers in the SEC. Auburn up by a deuce. We'll take you to the Wayback Machine 10 years ago, what it looked like in 2016. Kind of a social media trend here. A look back 10 years ago. Where was everybody? Well, that was the last Gamecock win at Auburn, January the 5th, 2016. Lamont Paris, yep, he was an assistant coach during Wisconsin's days under Bo Ryan, playing quite well. And Stephen Pearl is Auburn assistant coach. That's Todd Golden there, by the way, to the left. And yes, Pat Bradley and I were calling games. That was me teaching you the proper form, Pat, as I like to do from time to time.
And see, I'm a quick learner.
Get the pocket, right? The pocket
I'm a quick learner.
You know, that shot was actually in Columbia. So we were doing a Gamecock game. Now, I cannot remember who was playing. Obviously, Frank Martin was the coach in 2016.
Some good times there.
A year later, Frank's Gamecocks would go to the Final Four. Lamont Paris, 2 years ago, led the Gamecocks to an NCAA tournament. They'd like to get back sometime soon. Auburn has been there seemingly every year since Bruce got it turned around in short order, including 2 Final Fours last year and 2022. Gamecocks in a scoring drought here. They had the 2 early buckets from Strong. They haven't scored in nearly 5 minutes. Polk, pump fake, and good. How about that? Grant Polk, who's been battling a knee injury, has been day to day. Had a Gainesville, Virginia gets his first bucket.
Yeah, another fantastic freshman, really, for South Carolina. I like his aggressiveness right there. He's a threat from a three-point line. Just get a little ball fake. Get a little ball fake. Get in there and use your body for an easy two.
More of a three-point specialist
Yes.
this year. Inside, wheeling and dealing, and a beautiful move that time by Jovic.
I think every coach enjoys having that come off the bench, a little bit of a spurt coming off the bench from the offensive defensive side of things.
Lamont Paris burning a timeout. Carolina with a little bit of trouble with the Auburn full court pressure. Fourth year for Lamont Paris, 2024 SEC Coach of the Year. That, of course, was the NCAA tournament year. They lost in the first round to Oregon. And with that, of course, became the high expectations going into last season. You had Colin Murray-Boyles, the lottery pick. Things did not go well for that squad a year ago. This year, they bring back Meechie Johnson, his second tour of duty for the Gamecocks. They brought a number of players in from the portal and just trying to find themselves. The non-con did not treat Carolina very well.
No.
They go to LSU, and they just rain threes, pick up a win. You're saying, okay, maybe that'll turn it around. We'll see tonight if they can turn it around again.
Yeah, and really, when I watched South Carolina, and actually I did that LSU game, and yes, you're right, they shot the basketball really well, 12 threes. Elijah Strong was a big part of that. However, what South Carolina basketball is their ability to slow things down, especially on the defensive end. They do a good job of bodying you up, not giving you an easy shot. So you've got to move the basketball, you've got to have player movement to beat their defense.
Mongolian Mike, as they like to call him, number 55 in Garnet, gets it back left wing, pulls the trigger on a three, and misses everything. Offensive rebound, pump fake, shot up, and Strong will go to the free throw line. So the one guy who has had some success so far in this game, Elijah Strong, with 4 early points and a chance for 2 more at the line.
Yeah, you're right. They had to have somebody. Meechie Johnson obviously is the focal point of their offense. He's their point guard. He's asked to score. He's asked to facilitate. Where else is that offense going to come from? Elijah Strong is shown to be a tough matchup. He's strong. He can play inside, outside.
You know, he had the 30 points career high at LSU. You mentioned you called that game. If he has another big night tonight, he is going to personally hire you for every future Gamecock game. You understand that?
Yeah, well, he's one of those type of players where you can lose him easily because he roams around the three-point line or he can catch it on the block mid-range.
Pettiford fouled on the 3. 3 free throws upcoming. Kobe Knox contested and fouled. Pat, I want to get your thoughts on this. You were one of the best three-point shooters in the SEC in the modern era. You obviously knew that guys were going to try to contest, but it seems to me that there is an issue in today's game where guys are not just contesting three-point shooters, they're fouling them. You're not going to get away with that.
No, it's truly the cardinal sin of playing defense and trying. Now, there are times where a big guy will come out and will make a good block on a three-point shot, but you just have to be aware. Just get your hand up. And the other side of it, too, is you also got to be conscious of not only when you're trying to affect a shot, just get your hand in his face. The other side of it, too, is if you get too close and the shooter lands on your foot, you got another issue there.
Right.
So there's 2 things you got to be extremely aware of. Now, my issue is the closeout situation. I don't know, remember we used to close out, your feet were on the ground, you'd shuffle, get your hand up. Nowadays, they're just jumping. That's strategy at times. I get that because some defenders are taught to jump at the three-point shooter to run them off the three-point line. You understand?
Yeah.
Whereas the closeout was to affect the three-point shot, get your hand in his face. So there's 2 different strategies.
Lead is back to 4 for Auburn. E.J. Walker in the game, number 6 in Garden. Up top, Mongolian Mike trying to get into the scoring column. Been a whole lot of this guy. Strong, though, rejected. Just talked about that. Jovic contested without fouling and blocked the shot. Meanwhile, it's Hall and Mongolian Mike on the steal. Full throttle. And then gets hammered. He fell right into a Auburn Tiger sandwich. It'll be Jovic on the foul.
So that's a good example of South Carolina's defense. See, Mike Sharon-Johns is contesting, going straight up, and then he gets smoked right there at half court. I don't know, he's trying to spin around and do some kind of move we haven't seen before. But he got the call.
Well, his dad was a Harlem Globetrotter.
Yes.
You learned some moves from Dad. Here he gets it on the baseline. Jab step, probing, underneath the basket, and a closeout foul. That will go against Auburn, and that'll go against Keyshawn Hall.
We saw Elijah Strong early on post up from the opposite side, get some action. Just saw Mike do the same.
There's Pops. They nicknamed him the Shark. Harlem Globetrotter. That's a slick jersey right there, too.
Legendary.
Strong. Playing strong, but missed it short. Auburn up 4 with the basketball, closing in on the 12-minute mark of the first half. Mashalik, who we were told by Coach Pearl today, will be the backup point guard to add a little bit of defense for Auburn. Sets a screen here for Hall. Gets it, facing up against Mongolian Mike. The lefty, pump fake, and a steal by Michi. Michi, attack mode. Michi away, Michi lays it in.
Now that's the second turnover. Keyshawn Hall was trying to make his move. And I'm going to keep reiterating this. The ability to stay in front of the basketball for South Carolina's defense, right? Now they know we don't have to help. We can jump those passing lanes.
Overton on a 3. Too strong. Offensive rebound. Hall, and then he plows right over Sharabjams, and that'll be an offensive foul. And that is his 3rd foul. Wow. Remember this moment in the game. 3rd foul on Auburn's leading scorer.
Good job right here by South Carolina. Stay in front of the basketball. Michi Johnson reads it, picks it off like a great defensive back safety for 2. It's a 2-point game.
There you see the two coaches, Paris and Pearl. 11:29 to go. Auburn on top, 12-10. Both these teams had a player last year that was not necessarily a huge recruit. In fact, Dylan Cardwell didn't even play high school basketball his senior year. He goes undrafted. He's given the Kings great minutes. They love him over there. Just like here, he's an Energizer bunny off the bench. And then Colin Murray Boyles, not initially a high recruit, winds up working his way into a top 10 pick. And look at what he's doing with the Toronto Raptors. Nearly 8 points, 5 rebounds a game, and 53% from the field. I'll add another one. 2 others, actually. Jabari Smith with the Rockets, averaging 15 and 7. And you still have G.G. Jackson over there, logging quality minutes for Memphis. So the league that has more players on the NBA rosters than anyone, the SEC, both these teams represented right now quite well at the next level. What do you want to see out of Carolina here in the final 11 minutes of this first half?
Well, it'd be nice if they could make a 3-point shot. They're sitting at 0 for 5 right now.
You asked?
I asked.
And they did not deliver.
Usually what happens to me when I ask for something.
And Michi puts a crack in the backboard on that one. Freeman the other way quickly. Freeman threads the needle down low on a foul. Well, you mentioned the 3-point shooting for Carolina. It has not been great this year, 32%, and for a team that relies heavily on it, that has been a problem. Auburn is 34%, but Auburn doesn't rely as much on it. They're 1 for 5 in this game, but they've got some big bodies down low that can score points in the paint.
Sure, and they also get out in transition. Like we just saw, Freeman made a good decision, was a really good athlete. Gets in that paint, makes the right pass.
Jovic tickles the twine on the first free throw. A 6'8 freshman out of Bosnia. The European flair in college basketball has made its way to the SEC. We've got players from everywhere. I don't think we do a game anymore without foreign players on both rosters. Just shows you the level of play globally has increased. 3-point game. Sharabjams hangs, misses, got the follow, tapped out of bounds, and it will be Auburn basketball.
Well, you saw a little taste of the kind of athlete Sharabjams is, wasn't able to finish. But I think you sense this is how South Carolina wants this game to go.
Yeah, I think Part of the problem with that Arkansas game is Arkansas turned it into a track meet, and that was not to Carolina's favor. Auburn, particularly in this arena, the jungle, they love to go up tempo and just make it frenetic and high scoring, just run you out of the building sometimes.
Alley-oop, and then slamming it home is Jovic. Well, that is a perfect example of that Auburn offense that we've seen for so long. That high ball screen by your point guard, and Pettiford has decision. Am I going to shoot it, throw the oop, or kick for a three?
7 points for Jovic off the bench to lead Auburn in scoring.
Good job right there as Pettiford basically had both options to finish or throw that alley-oop on time, on target. It's a beautiful thing when it's executed perfectly, isn't it? It's such a simple offense. Most offenses are extremely simple. It's just the execution, like that perfect. The timing of the screen was perfect. Here we get the same action. South Carolina says, not letting him turn the corner again.
Out of contact, Freeman throws it up at the rim and missed it. Got down by 5 under 10 minutes to go in the first half. H.G. Johnson just 2 points here in the early going.
Well, they're going to be all over him, not allow him to see any daylight unless he wants to shoot from the logo, I guess.
A paint touch, a kick, and a fade and fire. Right now, Sherrod jumps going back to the Arkansas game in the early start here. A little bit of a slump. Did not play well in Fayetteville. He's 0 for 3 so far in this game, and again, not to belabor the point, it can't just be all Michi.
Right. Well, Sherrod Johnson his shot has been contested every time. Auburn understands that this is an explosive play. He really is an explosive player, really good player. So now he's going to figure out, maybe go to my second move, because they've scouted my first move.
Look at this. I mean, this young man is having a career day in the first half. 9 points off the bench for the freshman, Filip Jovic. The rest of the team only has 8. Skip pass into the corner. Pope, a 3-point specialist, puts it on the deck and draws the foul.
Yeah, right now everything. Now South Carolina's offense is predicated on spacing, right? They could play 5 out. Right now they are not even getting a foot in the paint to move that Auburn defense. So credit, I know Coach Pearl emphasized to whoever wants to listen, right? Defensive perimeter play, that is going to be the key for us. We get a really good offense. Can we keep South Carolina out of the paint?
Michi beat his man, then stopped. Back out strong. Carving up space, got to the rim, missed it up close, and scooped up by Auburn. There's Walker on the rebound. Pettiford missed it. Offensive rebound, guess who? Again, Jovic crowd wanted the foul, did not get the whistle.
Let's see here, we got Auburn's defense on their heels. See South Carolina take advantage of that switch.
Tie up, arrow in the favor of Auburn.
Yeah, and South Carolina playing a little bit faster than they normally do, but for good reason, because that Auburn defense has been going to keep them out of the lane, and especially that last possession. Even though Michi got to the lane, Auburn's defense suffocated him, forced him to throw it to the 3, and then great job going out and contesting that shot at the 3-point line, forced him off the 3-point line, in fact.
This is more of the defense that we're used to seeing going back to Bruce Pearl and what Stephen Pearl wants to see out of his squad. They have been suffocating in this first half. Around the horn, into the hands of the freshman Williams Adams. Wild shot, no. Oh, no. Boy, flying in off the trampoline was Freeman. Johnson hits knocks. Rejected out of bounds by Pettiford. Nope, a foul call. Say contact on the head. So loud in here you couldn't even hear the whistle.
South Carolina again on the move. Carter Knox, good athlete, going straight to the basket. Pays the price, but he's going to get 2 free throws. Auburn up 7.
Darinoke in studio. Georgia led a 19-point lead against Arkansas. Nearly get away from them late. Jeremiah Wilkinson hits the three. Stegman is rocking. Wilkinson had 20. And then watch Blue Kane drive to the basket. He had 18. 20-6 run to end the game. Dogs knock off the Hogs, guys.
Wow, Dari, appreciate it. It's been a wild day in the SEC. First off, an instant classic between Florida and Vandy. Florida won that one on the road, and Kentucky, down 17 in Knoxville, came back to win. So you see the home teams actually under 500 today. Little tidbit on the Kentucky comeback. Combine that with LSU. Back-to-back comebacks on the road of a deficit of 15 or more. The last time anybody did that in college basketball nearly 10 years ago was FAU that did it. Slightly different level of competition.
Yeah, that's not going to happen very often when you see that amount of road victories of anyone in the league play, really.
You got the right shooter there, but his feet are out of bounds.
Now that's happened much more often than I can ever remember. Guys stepping on that sideline.
You want a radical thought for the day?
Yes.
The court is 94 by 50, right?
Yes.
That's the way Dr. James Naismith.
Great man.
Great man. People have grown a lot since then. How about we widen the court a little bit? You got guys whose feet can barely fit in the corner.
Well, then we'd be doing games from up in the rafters. There'd be no room for us.
That might happen soon anyway, my friend. There's a trend going on. This is prime real estate. Knox with 7 on the shot clock. Here's Strong, wheeling. Now dealing a fade and fire. Left it short. Rebound into the hands of Freeman, who's off and running. Pettiford, pump fake, slashing, kick out, and Auburn will reset in the half court. Ball screen for Freeman. Edge by Carolina. Freeman all the way. No. Knox tears away the rebound.
Yeah, he didn't really have that tight curl to get a better angle on that layup.
Offensive rebound, Studi. Hope, who's a three-point specialist, missed it from the corner.
The mismatch they want here. Help.
Drive and kick. Another open three. Another miss. Knox, another offensive rebound. In traffic. Draws the foul. Well, in a nutshell, that's been Carolina's season. Open threes, which is Lamont's offense is designed to get you that. They don't have much of a post game. But you got to hit them, Pat Bradley. 0 for 8.
Yeah, they have a well-run offense, and obviously it has to end with somebody being able to make a shot, but they're getting good looks.
Knox, great family of hoopers. Brother Kevin played at Kentucky, still in the NBA after being drafted 9th overall by the Knicks in 2018. And of course, he has a brother who plays for Arkansas. You had Knox on Knox the other night in Fayetteville. Tampa, Florida. Father played wide receiver for the Florida State Seminoles.
And Auburn is a high free throw shooting team. One of the key categories here will be the free throw line. That was seemed to be a good call. Williams-Adden tries to create some space, probably unnecessary, throws that shoulder into Mouse Studi's jaw. Actually hit him in the chest with the forearm, it looked like. That creates space at third home.
Are you surprised the way this game has gone? Carolina's only down 4.
I am not, and I'll tell you why.
Strong foul. That's the 19th foul, so he's going to have a 1-and-1.
You know me. I am a huge proponent of the mental advantage. The mental advantage. You saw it today. You see multiple times. You saw Auburn go 0 for 2. Arkansas comes in and they drill them. South Carolina, okay, is a good basketball team. They're all good basketball teams. Just matter when you get them.
They did call it a 2-shot foul. Kentucky Wildcats coming off a big win over Tennessee today. They'll host the Longhorns Wednesday night right here on the SEC Network. That'll be at 7 o'clock as Strong splits the freebies to make it a 3-point game.
you have sort of two desperate teams and coaches are all trying to keep their teams desperate. And South Carolina's been a good team. It's just at times, like you said, they don't make shots.
Oh, goodness. Absolute rack attack by Keyshawn Murphy. There he is.
The loudest 2 points we've seen all day.
His only basket, and it was a big one. And then a nice response on the other end.
Yeah, that's a Cougars response by Michi Johnson. One of the few times he's been able to get to the lane, and he's been able to get up some shots, but that wasn't as contested as it has been previously in this half.
4 points for Michi, an extremely low-scoring half. Murphy, size advantage, carves out space, and makes the jump hook shot.
Yeah, I love that because they said, let's go back to the big fella. Keyshawn Murphy, we found something with him. Did a good job of being strong in the paint, playing off 2 feet. Nice little baby hook.
Logo 3, and maybe that'll get Michi going. 7 points now and a 5-0 run by the senior Michi Johnson.
And they broke their drought, right? 1 for 9 from the three-point line. It can go in from there. He can't shoot it, too.
Not that time. An oxygen ball.
Yeah, that one certainly seemed like there's a little wind maybe blowing through the arena.
Carolina can tie or take the lead. Michi goes to work, throws it up at the rim, missed it. Now got to get back on defense. Numbers for Auburn. Pettiford from the corner, too strong. Weak side board to Studi.
So right now they're even on the offensive glass. Neither team shooting well, 24%, 33%. So you see the other thing with South Carolina. Listen, they're a physical team, especially on the glass. They're not usually going to get smoked on the offensive glass. It gives them an opportunity.
8 for Michi. Stare down 3. Never bashful. Michi Johnson. Pettiford pulls on the brakes, kicks it back out to Freeman. In a break zone with a 2-point game, Auburn on top. They've beaten the Gamecocks 9 straight. Pettiford trying to shake and bake Michi. Shot clock under 10. Ball screen. Rise and fire 3. And Knox flying in for the rebound. Both these teams look a little tired right now.
Yeah, that was a good defensive possession by South Carolina. Studi just switches and doesn't allow Pettiford to turn the corner. I like this, but run some offense here. Take your time. Try to get that mismatch.
Auburn zoning up. 3 ball from the corner. Carolina now 1 for 11 from behind the arc.
I thought they missed Elijah Strong there at the free throw line after he set that screen. He's made that catch at the free throw line, turn, pop.
Pettiford in the trees, got it! An and 1 for Tashad Pettiford. And he is whooping as well right at Michi Johnson. The referee's going to try to break up that conversation. 2:57 to go. Auburn up by 4 here in the jungle.
All right, we'll see you coming up in the half. Dory Slay Fish. We'll dive into the first half. Why are you already laughing?
Hey, because this man over here, man, he just, when that camera comes on.
I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. Listen, South Carolina being able to hang in there, control the pace a little bit. They better keep it under control because Auburn ready.
Shooter, what's the upside potential for your Arkansas Razorbacks?
Ooh, the upside potential. Listen, the sky is the limit. If they put it together, they can make a run to the Final Four. Listen, what I'm telling you is this. They have a point guard in Darius Acuff Jr. Forget he's a freshman. Forget about he's a freshman. He's as good as anybody in the country, and it continues to get better. He has guys next to him, Malik Thomas. You got guys that can shoot it. How about Knox? And also, if you can continue to get production from their big guys, Pringle, Ewan, and of course Trevin Brazil, they can make extremely loud noises in March. That's the potential fish. Or was that Slay? No, that was fish. That was fish. But I think they both are curious of your answer. I know I was. Having just seen Arkansas in person and having seen just about everybody in the league, I don't think there's anybody more talented than the group Cal has this year.
Final full potential, no doubt.
They are, those two freshman guards are ridiculous. They've got size, and a lot of things to like over there in Fayetteville, but a tough loss today. Ooh, man, foul down low. Murphy getting tangled up. That's the biggest of the Gamecock big men. That's a Sandaco, a 7-foot redshirt junior out of France. A rare trip to the free throw line for Priest Sandaco. Double bonus the rest of the way for Carolina with 2:44 to go in a 5-point game. Quite an uptick in French players. When you see him drafted in the lottery every year, so I would say so. Second one rattles in. Back to a 4-point game.
Another part of South Carolina, they don't want to put Auburn on the free throw line. Auburn makes 20 free throws a game, shoots 28. They're very good at getting the free throw line. It's a big part of their offense. Today, Auburn just 5 of 8. Think about the points they don't have because South Carolina's just not fouling them until right there. What was going to give us? I'm waiting. You knew the whistle was coming. But I'll just say this. Yes, a foul was called.
1, 2, there you go. And the third bump.
Then more. Yeah.
At some point, something has to be called one way or another.
Yes, and South Carolina's defense is going to be physical with you. Okay, they're not going to back down. You saw it right there with DJ Walker just staying in front. Maybe, probably shouldn't have fought back. You just got to go straight up. Jovic comes into you, then you draw the offensive foul.
Jovic has a career high of 18. He's got 10 already in this game for Auburn. 5-point game. We approach 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
Tough trap there on the sidelines. Good job by
Overturn. Initially, they were calling a Gamecock ball, and then Jeb Hartness says, nope, that's going to be Auburn basketball.
And that's something that Michi Johnson has to expect. They know they want the ball out of his hands, and that's a perfect area to trap.
Yeah, the sideline is the third defender on that play. More contact. Jovic and Walker. Wow, and they're going to count it. Remember, you get continuation now in college basketball. That never would have counted before, but they have altered the rules.
Jovic, look at that. Just a little ball fake, okay? That's all he needed to gain the advantage. And once they had that first contact right around that blue line area there, Jovic had already put Walker on his hip, okay? So now he had that advantage.
Jovic has got that Bosnian strength.
Yes.
Not weight room strength, Bosnian strength.
Understands leverage, too. That's pretty impressive.
He has played bully ball this entire first half. 13 points for Jovic.
Wow, that's that defense you were talking about.
Yeah. 8-point advantage now for Auburn. Jovic on a heat check. Not quite that hot. Sandaco faces, driving in on the baseline, and then had him stripped from behind. Too easy. Kevin Overton says, thank you very much.
Yeah, well, he put himself in jail there. Didn't know what he was going to do with it.
Skip pass, open 3 ball. Off the iron, and a nice rebound hunted down by Kobe Knox. Gamecocks need something here in the final minute of action or so to feel good about in the locker room. Johnson. Backdoor cut, Knox, kick out pass. There's an open 3, and there's a make. Walker, just the second 3 for Carolina, now 2 for 12 from distance.
Well executed, Michi Johnson. Dribbling at the defender. Knox read it perfectly. Makes a great pass to the corner.
Jumps charged on the reach in.
Michi just isolates Knox on that wing, dribbles at him, and makes a defender make a decision.
Now we have one more gymnastics meet for you this weekend. Not just you, Pat Bradley, but the American public. That'll be right here on the SEC Network. 6th-ranked Auburn will be at the Barn in Fayetteville to take on 10th-ranked Arkansas. That's tomorrow at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. The Auburn gymnastics coach is Jeff Graybaugh. His brother was the coach of Suni Lee, who went here and also won a gold medal. That's a little gymnastic nugget for you, Pat. Take that back home with you.
You tell me he knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Must feel nice.
The season low for Auburn this year, the first half is 31. They're at 30. Carolina's at 27. They're at 23. It has not been an offensive Rembrandt in this first half. Johnson, power drive in the trees, blocked, got it back, and a jump ball, so that'll give Carolina the ball on the arrow with 13 on the shot clock.
Yeah, we had a great view of this. Meach goes up, trying to drop contact. Overton got his hand on the ball. So you could say
I mean, it wound up in Carolina's hands anyway. The fans are upset, but either way, Gamecock ball. There's Mongolia. Oh, my goodness. And there's the whistle. He got it underneath on a great cut to the basket. And I couldn't see who got a piece of that and who got whistled for the foul.
yeah, that was just a great action right there.
Overton.
Sharon Johns. And there, obviously, Auburn's protecting from him going to that corner for the corner three, and he just makes a very smart curl, tight curl, too. Love that play.
Mongolian Mike was 90% on the season. He just doesn't seem like he's been his normal self. He's battling a little bit of a cold. And finally scratches the scoring column.
He was a big addition to their team in the offseason, and he has got to find his rhythm. He has to be an offensive threat for this team to have any chance of really competing on the road throughout the season.
Shot clock is off. 4 seconds. Desperation heave. This would count. And there's some Auburn fans who still have perhaps a little bit of... Second half about to get underway. The Auburn Tigers leading it by a score of 30-24 in a low-scoring affair. As we'll see if the offense can pick up the pace here in the second half. We welcome you back inside the jungle. Yet another sellout. He is the shooter, Pat Bradley. I am Mike Morgan. Pat, you never know sometimes who's going to step up, who's going to be the hero of this game. If you would have told me Philip Jovic would be the star offensively, I probably would have said you're not feeling very well, which I know that you're not, but he was terrific, and he's part of our spotlight brought to you by Subaru.
Yeah, he's been the most physical player on the court, Mike, and Auburn leads this game 18 points in the paint to 8, and mostly because of Philip Jovic. You see him right there. He's patient when he gets in the lane. He's in a fantastic high ball screen, and he just rises like an elevator man. And he's patient, strong in the paint. He's got counter moves, so if you take away his right, he can up pump fake, step through, and finish with the left.
You see the average just 6 points a game already with 13. He did have a double-double in his first SEC game against Georgia, 10 points and 10 rebounds. Also had 13 against Michigan in a loss to the Wolverines. That was in Vegas, but that might be his best half of basketball, which you just saw in the first 20 minutes, and he gets it here. Carving up space and drawing a foul on Studi.
Yeah, and they needed him to step up. They need somebody to step up with Keyshawn Hall on the bench with 3 fouls.
Studi going to the face mask at halftime. Not sure he got hit maybe somewhere in the nose in the first half.
When I saw him at LSU, he was wearing that mask. And I asked him, how could you shoot with that mask? Because I had to wear one too when I broke my nose. So you thought I was born like this? No,
Yeah.
no, I broke it. But and I couldn't. I lasted literally one practice. He goes, I know, man. I don't like wearing it, but I have to. And he took it off for a few games, and maybe he's like Rip Hamilton, superstitious with wearing the mask.
Worked pretty well for Rip. By the way, several shots in the head would explain a lot for you,
Yes,
Bradley.
yes.
It's all starting to make sense now after 10 years of working together. I'm seeing the light. Second free throw, up and through.
Now look, smart basketball by Auburn. Goes straight to the well coming out of the second half. Goes straight to Jovic. He's been delivering.
That foul, by the way, was on Studi, his third. Of course, Keyshawn Hall, Auburn's leading scorer, barely played the first half because he picked up 3 quick fouls, and he is still on the bench. Studi backing in. Poked away, and loose basketball. Finally scooped up by Auburn, and then thrown behind Pettiford. He picks it up. Another turnover on the Gamecocks. Pettiford sets it up in the front court. Pettiford, he has been ice cold from 3. Home or away, Tahad Pettiford is now 7 from his last 41 from behind the arc. Studi, that's his specialty, and he splashes a triple from the corner to make it a 5-point game.
The masked man knows what works for him. Puts the mask on. He's 1 for 1 from the 3. Great job by South Carolina identifying our shooter in the corner. Auburn's got to realize, come on now, Studi's going to do one thing for you.
Might be a number of players that want to go to a mask. Both these teams were ice cold from behind the arc. Auburn is 1 for 12 from distance. And a little bully ball on display there by Keyshawn Murphy.
Yeah, and the idea of South Carolina's offense playing outside that three-point line, Jovic got caught underneath the basket, just losing sight of Miles Studi, which that's a huge no-no as he's telling somebody crying. There's a lot of emotion in this game. Guys are chirping to the fans, to the students, to each other.
Blood, sweat, and tears on display. Murphy gets a very friendly bounce on the second. Remember Keyshawn Murphy, part of that NCAA tournament team, or teams, I should say, for Chris Jans, who's just done an exceptional job at Mississippi State. A lot of great coaches in this league. This league is #1 in most of the metrics. There's Mongolian Mike, backdoor cut, leads to an easy layup, and that is his first field goal, 3 points in total.
So that's a third cut. 2 of them worked. 1 of them was a turnover, but that's that 5-out offense. Recognize when to cut. There's no help there. Great job by Mike.
You're going to get open looks. Pettiford just continues to shoot threes regardless of percentage. You're going to get good looks in Lamont Paris's offense.
Yes.
You've got to hit the shots. Euro step and into the front row, the block by Keyshawn Murphy.
Listen, I credit Elijah Strong for getting out in transition, the big body man, but a little too slow with that Euro step. 1, 2. Keyshawn was just waiting for that.
That was target practice for the 6'10", 230-pound senior.
See if they draw something up for Studi. Get him going.
Peachy loves the deep 3 and splashes another one.
All right, perfect example of Coach Paris's offense, right? You spread it out, backdoor cut. Now the defense thinks they got to suffocate. Watch out, backdoor, backdoor. Michi steps back, and he's got some daylight for a 3.
Would you believe it's a 2-point game? Peachy leading all Gamecocks with 10 points.
Oh, that's good.
That guy right there continues to be an assassin. Philip Jovic, a one-man wrecking crew for Auburn, 17 points.
How about his confidence in taking from the three-point line off the dribble?
Knox wheels, deals, wild shot off balance.
Those are the kind of shots that are just difficult. Spread the floor, you've got some good action from player movement, ball movement.
Finally get some help on Jovic.
Oh, he's just threading the needle with that pass.
Inside, great block at the rim, and the foul is good by Murphy. Mongolian Mike did a terrific job on the initial shot, but the follow is good.
Auburn has just been dominating the paint on the offensive end. That's 20 of them right now.
Robjohn hangs and hits. That's more the all-floor game that he was putting on display throughout most of the year.
Yeah, give you a little taste of his size 6'9". He's very athletic. He can handle a basketball with good touch. I like to see him aggressive like that.
Yeah, he had a season-low 5 against Arkansas. He's got 5 right now, and he's going to want a lot more. He's on the receiving end of a hard screen by Murphy. And then drawing the foul is Williams-Adams. Conversation, getting a little chippy out here. Now, the SEC might be the highest scoring conference in college basketball, but don't take that for it's just a finesse league. This is a physical brand of basketball. Watch this screen by Murphy.
You see the screen here, and Murphy, look at him, look at him. He's getting down like a defensive lineman. He's ready now. He keeps his balance there. And look at Shower Jams looks like he's a bowling pin right there. Just got knocked off of his base, and then you had the two of them right here say, well, now hold on, Mr. Referee, did you see what he did to me? And Keyshawn Murphy said, no, I was standing still.
He says, I got some more for you, son.
He said, I got some more for you.
It's been a physical game. It's been a little bit chippy, kind of what you would expect. Both these teams are coming off a loss. They do not want to fall to 1-4. You've already got some really good teams in this league that currently have a losing record in the SEC. And that's just the reality of the SEC. You could be a good team, and during the course of 18 SEC games, you might be below the Mendoza line.
Yes. Well, I like using that telestrator. It's a lot of fun.
I think you should take it back with you and maybe use it for practical purposes for life.
Reminds me of, is that a light bright?
It's a 1980s reference for those of you kids out there.
But you're right. Listen, you're going to have opportunities in this league, but you're going to take advantage of them, right? Losing to good teams is not going to get you to the tournament.
Auburn has played a brutal schedule, third toughest schedule in the country. Johnson, how about that? Michi Johnson takes Kevin Overton to school and makes it a 3-point game.
And another advantage of playing in that wide open style of offense, you've got somebody, Michi in that instance, that wants it to be patient and work that paint. He can.
Woo. Silky smooth floater thrown up there by Kevin Overton, the transfer from Texas Tech. Here's Michi with the hot hand.
Good job by Kevin Overton. That's not an easy matchup. How often Michi's going to handle the basketball.
Jump past Johnson, open look. Rims off. That's the look you want if you're Michi Johnson.
Probably not going to get many open ones like that.
Freeman. And a bump foul on Michi.
Michi working, patient, watching to see if any double team comes. Great use of playing off 2 feet, but the pump fake, the ball fake. Beautiful basketball. Overton wastes no time. Ooh, and he jump off the left foot, use the left hand. A little fadeaway.
Not supposed to do that, are you?
Oh, that's a very creative shot.
Now, the points per possession, which were abysmal in the first half, definitely stepped up here in the second. A lot more offense as the shot clock ticks down to 5. There's the look. Hall back in the game and missed it. Hall saddled with those 3 fouls back in the game in the second half.
Same action there. Pettiford comes off, decides not to throw the alley-oop to Jovic. Probably should. But he had a wide open Hall in the corner 3.
Studi in the corner. Studi backing in and drawing the foul on Freeman. He saw Freeman. He said, you know what? I think I could take number 6 in white.
Yeah, Studi's obviously a 3-point threat, so his use of the ball fake as well. You're just getting leverage on your defender. Even if they just off balance just an inch, okay? They don't have to jump by you. Just off balance an inch, you're able to get better position on the defender, and the defender's at your mercy.
71% free throw shooter. Studi, one of those members of that NCAA tournament team 2 years ago. Obviously, Michi Johnson was on that team. He was second team All-SEC that year. Studi was a big part of what they were able to do offensively. Talon Cooper, though, that was the point guard that made that team go. Empty trip by Miles Studi.
Good defensive team, that group of guys,
Yes.
too. Keyshawn Hall is well rested, and Jahad Pettiford, obviously, that last possession, wants to try to get Keyshawn Hall in the mix.
Auburn's up 5 with Hall sitting on just 2 points. Here's that man again. Oh my goodness! Where is this coming from? Philip Jovic, a new career high with 19. In the trees, got it. Nice little teardrop dropped off by Mongolian Mike.
Yeah, and you can see his aggressiveness. The last end of the first half and this second half, a lot more aggressive on the offensive end.
Over 10. Here comes Hall, downhill, pump fake, beautiful.
That's just such a great two-man game. Overton gets in the lane, and then Hall's just playing downhill. He is so crafty and good around that rim.
Studi stepped out of bounds.
Jovic just taking control of the paint. Good job just yoking it. That's the old school flush. Feeling his defender on his back. Studi goes high side.
That's the reaction I had. He's just like playing some bully ball, taking it down low. That's an off 2 feet.
Grown man basketball, right?
Man slam, the freshman from Bosnia. Not again. Oh, wow. I tell you what.
Oh, wow. Pettiford is making some fantastic decisions on that high ball screen. Whether he's throwing the alley-oop, kicking it to his guy Hall in the corner for 3.
No one has an answer for 38 and white. Hope tries to respond. Can't do it. Auburn off and running. Here's that man, Overton. And rebounded by Kobe Knox. That would have taken the lid off the jungle here. Auburn up by 9 as it stands. Michi draws the foul and will go to the line for a pick.
In the SEC, our football stadiums literally shake the earth. But our impact means so much more. More billions pumped into our state economies. More students from around the country and the globe attracted to SEC campuses, epicenters for teaching, research, and service. More medical pioneers, entrepreneurs, and international scholars. More Pulitzer and Nobel Prize winners. Once you learn how much more there is to our story, you expect nothing less.
The Australian Open, Saturday on ESPN and the ESPN app.
The pressure's starting to ramp up. A trip to the AFC Championship game on the line. Welcome to the greatest show on earth. It's running right here. Oh, yes, sir. It is all quite astonishing. It's already rolling now for this new season.
.53 to go. The lights are out at the Auburn Arena. And shooting the lights out thus far has been the freshman from Bosnia, Philip Jovic.
Well, not afraid of contact. You see him rise up like elevator man to catch that dunk right there. Takes on the contact. Big, makes himself available. Whenever either he screens, he opens up big, or his point guard or any of his guards attack, he opens up big, ready to receive the ball.
Mentioned he's just a freshman. He gets better game by game. And while this is certainly an aberration, they really believe in time this can be more the norm. They believe there's an extremely bright future for Philip Jovic, who's only going to get better with time.
Well, it makes him such a potent weapon. Like, as he's shooting the ball point-blank range.
Yep. And he understands how to get there. It's not like he's forcing anything. And when he does, he's right under the basket. Good things will happen. When's the last time you saw a team shooting 1 for 15 from behind the arc and leading by 9? That's the case for Auburn right now. Michi's going to try to cut into that lead. 2 free throws here. Michi gets the friendly bounce on the first one. Second stint with the Gamecocks. Started off at Ohio State, then went to Carolina. Then back to Ohio State, now back to Carolina. His cousin has already signed. He's a top 100 recruit to play basketball with the Gamecocks next year. 2 for 2 for Michi. He's got 14. Mashalik back in the game for Auburn, number 21 in white, serving as the backup point guard tonight. Jovic finally draws the double. Hall puts it on the deck, takes it strong, missed it. And there's Jovic getting a rebound in between 2 Gamecocks. An offensive foul on Hall. If that's Hall, it's a sport. Is it Hall or Jovic? I thought it was Hall.
Yeah, I think they did call the offensive foul on Keyshawn Hall.
Wow, so 4 fouls and 4 points. And my guess is he's going to be on the bench for a while now.
Yeah, Johnson doing a good job of sliding those feet, getting on that right shoulder of Hall.
So your top player and one of the best scorers all year long in the SEC has barely scratched, been in foul trouble all game. You're 1 for 15 from behind the arc, and you're still up 7. But Gamecocks definitely have an opening here if you want to pull off an upset on the road. Strong, back up top, Michi. Into the corner, Knox on a 3. Got it! 3 ball for Kobe Knox, and it's a 4-point game.
You go on the road, you've got to make sure you do a few things. Take care of the basketball, make some shots, and rebound. And South Carolina's done enough of that to stay in striking distance.
Easy peasy for Auburn. Just Overton going right into the lane, unimpeded, and a little mid-range game on display.
Yeah, and here on out, South Carolina's got to make sure that everything is a tough look from the offensive end for Auburn.
Johnson draws a double, kicks it out, open 3. He hits it. Walker rips the nets for 3 more. Carolina heating up from behind the arc, and it's a 1-possession game in Auburn.
Yeah, good little 2-man action there, pick and pop situation. Now South Carolina's got to get a few stops, though. Can't trade baskets.
Overton, guarded by Polk. Gets a ball screen. Murphy with 5 to shoot. They work it around the horn. Free ball, corner pocket, short. Offensive rebound. Slam! In traffic. Taking it strong is the other freshman, Sebastian Williams-Adams.
Always follow your shot. Good things will happen, especially that corner shot. You know it's going to be short right back to you. Long on the other side. Great job of reading that.
Lob pass handed. All kinds of traffic. Williams-Adams going downhill. Runaway locomotive, but an offensive foul. And give Walker credit. He's got a future family to think about. That's 6'8", 230, full throttle coming at you.
It's a simple action right there. Michi Johnson again drawing the corner defender. And that simple pick and pop situation. Simple basketball. It's spacing, though. Spacing is key. Follow your own shot. That's the name of the game.
That's 4 for 6 now from three-point land here in the second half. 9 minutes and change left to go here in the jungle. Sharab jumps. Puts it on the deck. Tries a blind pass down low to Pope, but it's kicked out of bounds.
Two backdoor cuts. Defended well by Auburn in that possession. Get a team committed to that backdoor cut. Alleviates so much pressure. Boy, it's annoying for a defender.
And it's, there it is again, inside, easy bucket. When you ever watch, if you watch Wisconsin under Bo Ryan, where Lamont Paris received much of his tutelage, they would do that to perfection. They would completely slice and dice people on backdoor cuts.
In you have to have great spacing and a threat from the three-point line and get that defense to overplay, and then it's just a read.
This crowd has been taken out, a little bit stunned, but this is a one-possession game. Inside Murphy. Foul! Count the basket. The hoop and the horn for Keyshawn Murphy.
Another great read there by Pettiford. Good job. Auburn's offense always moving, taking advantage of that ball screen. Keyshawn Murphy, good screen, immediately dives to the hoop.
%61% free throw shooter. Didn't look like it on that one. That looks pure, Pat Bradley.
Well, he has a pure stroke. I mean, he's got a good-looking shot. He's got great vision. He's a good shooter. Certainly, you got to respect him as a shooter. He's a heck of a player.
You got him late in the portal. That's a great addition.
Oh, yes.
From Mississippi State. Johnson on a blow-by. A lot of contact, no whistle, ball out of bounds to Carolina.
A little hesitation turning the corner. Looked like, did Pettiford get that from behind, possibly? Looked like he may have.
You take it in the lane in this league at your own peril.
Yes, that's why I never did. Top of the key to top of the key, my friend. That was the land I lived in.
Yeah, you are not in that high rent district.
No, sir. You only get 2 for that, Mike.
That's right. Strong, backing in, throws it up wildly and draws a foul.
Yeah, Elijah Freeman probably going to want that one back. But sometimes it's just so tempting, right? When the basketball is exposed to you, you just want to swipe at it, make a play. That's an instinct.
That's what you call a bailout. I don't know if Elijah Strong had much in his bag that was going to finish off that play.
That was going to be a tough 10-foot left-handed hook shot off the backboard.
And he is right-handed as he displays on the made free throw. 80% free throw shooter. So Carolina comes into this game. Think about this, Pat. The Gamecocks lead the SEC in free throw shooting, three-point defense, and fewest turnovers committed. Ordinarily, those are the marks of a great team. The problem is they're last in rebounding, they're last in forcing turnovers, and they've been a poor three-point shooting team all year long. So one kind of balances out the other. Does the double come? Yes, it does. You got to, right?
You got to.
3-ball miss, but there is just too much beef down low. Williams-Adams muscling his way in.
You mentioned the rebounding, and up until that point, South Carolina has kept Auburn off the glass. Auburn averages 14 offensive rebounds per game. That's a 40% clip.
Strong tried to thread the needle. Can't do it. Too many arms in there. Skip pass. Pettiford on the drive. Pettiford, no sir. Hanging, firing, and missed it from point-blank range.
South Carolina doing a good job of not allowing that run that Auburn's desperately trying to go on to put this one where they got to reach.
Michi draws the foul on Pettiford. And a timeout on the floor with 7:07 to go. Gamecocks hanging tough, trying to pull off a road upset. 56-49 our score.
There isn't one thing that makes the SEC special. There are a million different things. The students, the legends, the fans, the passions, the traditions. And when it all comes together, it just means more.
Now Michi Johnson trying to lead the Gamecocks back into contention and not a victory here. He's got what I think everybody wouldn't mind having, a cute dog. That's his pet dog, Nemo. Nemo goes with him quite a few places. I mean, just an adorable pooch. Says it's good for his kind of mental state of being, keeps him calm, keeps him relaxed, a good companion. I think you could probably use a Nemo in your life.
Oh, I love Nemo. And my only pet that I got a mouse. Hermie the mouse.
I think they have traps for that.
Well, it cost 50 cents. I didn't realize we were at the pet store.
Johnson,
It was the cheapest pet I could get.
Johnson just dribbles it. I don't know exactly where Michi was going with that, but I know one thing. He got bottled up and turned it over.
Well, I don't envy the officials. They did a great job when you have a scrum like that to be able to stay focused and figure out who exactly got the foul on. But back to Hermie, it was 50 cents. It was the cheapest thing at the pet store. I didn't realize he was pet food, but bought him and took it home.
I would have taken you for an exotic bird guy. A macaw or an African gray. A mouse.
I don't have a license for that.
Here's an open three. Nice box out down low by Simeon. Carolina hanging around by 7. Michi. In and out.
It's a game of inches, isn't it?
Yeah, my goalie Mike had a good look and it just spun around. 7-point game. Auburn trying to add to the lead here at home. Another sellout crowd, the 79th straight sellout. 9,121 crammed in to the Neville Arena. Great pass and a strong finish. I mean, a beautiful dime dropped off to Williams-Adams. And that's the largest lead for Auburn, 9 points. 40 points in the paint for Auburn. And then another turnover, Michi gets it back. Michi, does he get the timeout? He does. We'll step aside as well with 5:15 to go. Tigers, momentum, up by 9. Game for Auburn coming into this game, leading at 58-49. Pat, they're very much right now kind of a borderline bubble team. Yeah, it's early, but a home loss here, that could be crippling come March. Still so many tough games on the road in this conference. They had themselves what would have been a really quality win on a dramatic shot. It was a buzzer beater. This is the last time I was in this building, and it looked like it was good. In fact, the referees called it good initially. That is Keyshawn Murphy from about 38 feet, and then all of a sudden it went to review, and they determined, nope, it was touching his fingertip at 0, and just like that, a dramatic win turned into a heartbreaking loss. And with that, Auburn bounced back well. They got the win against Arkansas. Then they go on the road. They lose to Missouri. You see where they are in the net, which is 37th. The strength of schedule is what's keeping this team in. But they're going to need some quality wins, and they're going to need to avoid losses at home, which makes this game extra important.
There's no question, and what's going to be important right now is Auburn finishing this game. They've done a good job defensively. Right on cue, as Coach Pearl wanted them to, demanded them to.
There's that man, Jovic all the way. Jovic! Okay. Rocking the rim. The steal, coast to coast. Who is this guy?
I don't know, as Lady Gaga would say, a star is born.
23 points and 5 rebounds for the freshman, Philip Jovic.
And he came out from the beginning of this game. Keyshawn Hall gets into foul trouble, who is their best offensive player. What does Jovic do? He just takes over. He's playing like this is how he comes and produces every night. There's no hesitation, Mike. He's aggressive.
Like you mentioned, Hall has had just 4 points. He's had foul trouble the whole game. Jovic has been the alpha on this Auburn team tonight. Under 10 to shoot. Carving up space strong, working on Jovic. Tough shot right between the eyes of Jovic.
Tough shot, but Elijah Strong, that's his style, that mid-range pump fake.
He's got an old man YMCA game.
Yeah, he's got the old school game, man. Doesn't matter if you're in shape, out of shape, how old, it's still effective. I mean, he's in shape, don't get me wrong.
Inside, banging bodies, missing. Offensive rebound, Jovic. Tapped around and finally reeled in by Studi. Gamecocks have numbers if they want to run. Here comes the corner three from Polk. A great hustle and almost falling into us as Montgomery and Mike finds Knox on a three. No, Studi leaps for it. Knox gets it back just the way the Gamecocks drew it up, and a timeout called by Lamont Paris and Carolina. 60 to 53 with 3:40 to go in Auburn. Time now for the All-State Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate.
And here you see our guy, Philip Jovic, playing the passing lane and handling basketball, getting up and yoking the flush. He may be a new school guy, but that is an old school move. The other thing I love about this situation, Mike, is think of how he fits in with Keyshawn Hall, who can play in the perimeter. Right now, you've got Jovic, who can play in the block. Keyshawn Murphy, another big, who's a good passer, high-low passer. So he doesn't have to get this kind of production every night. But if he can consistently be that low-post presence, he fits in. I mean, like we talked about, all his shots are from right under the rim, right? So he gives you that presence.
There's a guy that would love to coach Jovic. Bruce Pearl, now retired, onto a TV career, will be in the Hall of Fame at some point. What he did at Auburn. You have to know what Auburn basketball was before he got here to know 2 Final Fours, multiple SEC championships, a miraculous job he pulled off. And head coach Stephen Pearl now, foul committed down low. Stephen Pearl, the son, of course, of Bruce. When I asked Stephen at the beginning of the year, what's the part of this job that maybe has surprised you as the most difficult following your dad? He said, you know what, it has nothing to do with X's and O's. It has nothing to do with practices and everything else. He said, the biggest tough act to follow of my dad is that he never said no to a media request, meeting a donor, some type of charity. Bruce was the king of all of that. He said, when the phone rings, I know I've got to say yes, because that man, BP, he always said yes.
Well, many people have built different ways, and we always talk about Coach Bruce Pearl, how he really figured out college basketball in terms of the recruiting, how to deal with, like you say, boosters, donors, students, administration. He's a great example for Coach Stephen Pearl.
9-point game, a little more than 3 minutes remaining.
Coach Bruce Pearl's first job wasn't an SEC job, so there's a lot more that Stephen has to do.
Johnson, late clock. Johnson up and under. Missed it. And the tapping's no good. And then a foul.
Game of inches, Mike. Listen, South Carolina is not going to go away because they're physical on that defensive end, right? They battle on the glass. Matter of fact, they're winning the glass game right now by 4. We talked about their sort of Achilles heel. One of them is on the glass.
Yep.
They're doing that now. They just can't make easy buckets on the other end.
And this is not a bad foul because it's a 1-and-1, and Williams Adams is 46% at the free throw line this year. But an offensive rebound.
Boy, I think I spoke too soon on that one, right? Now you need to stop. You're in striking distance.
Carolina's actually +4 on the glass, but a key spot there, not boxing out on the free throw. Tedford, desperation, air ball, and a shot clock violation. So Gamecocks do what they need to do defensively. See, the rebounding this year has been a struggle for Carolina. Now the officiating crew, are they making sure the ball hit the rim?
Well, I think there was a discussion about a push under the basket. It was a foul before the foul before the shot clock violation.
The foul occurred before the shot clock violation.
Okay. So we don't know what the foul is, but maybe we can see it on review here.
It's going to be right here, Michi Johnson on Jovic. And I would tend to say, well, it sort of looked like there were two hands in his back. Now, did it happen while it was still time on the clock?
Now, I believe this was initiated by the referees. You know, we have challenges and we have coaches' appeals. This, I believe, was initiated by the referees.
The foul occurred before the shot clock violation. The result of the play is number 38 for Auburn will shoot 1-1.
So that's obviously a huge call. Huge. It would have been Carolina ball. Instead now, Jovic, already having a career night, will go to the free throw line. It is only the 19th foul, so this should be a 1-1. Jovic on the year, 58% at the line, but tonight is 5 for 7. Whatever number is coming into this game for Jovic, just scratch it all out, because this has been a career night in every sense of the word for number 38 in white. Missed it though. That puts Carolina back in business, down by 9.
They dodged one there, South Carolina did.
Sharaf jumps, wheeling, dealing, and gets the whistle and the foul. Now he started off cold, but he's had a good second half. He's sitting on 9 points with a chance to get into double figures here. At the line. He's been a very good free throw shooter throughout the year. And knocks that one down. Women's basketball takes over the SEC network every Sunday. How about a back half triple header? Ole Miss at Georgia, Tennessee at Bama, and then a battle with the Lone Star State between the Aggies and the Longhorns. That'll be on Sunday. Texas just had a tough loss against Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks. Those two teams seem to meet like every other week.
So now we're down to 2:18. Good job of, it only took them 13 seconds for South Carolina to get to the free throw line.
10 second half points for Mongolian Mike.
So now South Carolina's in the position here, trying to maybe a little pressure, speed Auburn up, try to get that basketball back with a 7-point game here.
Hall back in the game with those 4 fouls. Auburn content to bleed some clock, and then Pettiford just I don't even have a word for it. He just coughed it up with nobody there.
I would be willing to say that has never happened to him, maybe since he's been in the 4th grade.
Dribbled it off his foot.
That's just a premier ball handler right there.
And there was nobody within 5 feet, and the look on Stephen Pearl's face was just priceless.
He just couldn't believe it. I mean, he'll tell you that's been the kind of season, right?
It's like, what in the world?
If it can go wrong, sometimes it will. So South Carolina now, that was a 16-second possession, 2:02 left.
I mean, it just paves the way for Carolina to stay in this game. They've been in it throughout. Michi all the way. Michi left it short of the rim.
Wanted to get a quick one up. Saw a straight drive line there.
Michi surprised he didn't convert on that.
But yeah, it looked like he was going so fast, maybe just didn't have the balance to finish that.
Jovic, left side to Williams-Adams. Shot clock again. Being built all the way down to 3. Rebound Carolina. You've got numbers if you run here. Here comes Sherrod jumps.
And they're spreading to the 3-point line. So multiple guys he can get it to.
Drive by Knox. That's a goaltend. The 2 points for Carolina makes it a 5-point game, a minute 20. The Gamecocks still have a timeout and the possession error.
Yeah, wide open set there. Knox does a good job. Really good athlete. That's his strength right there, is attacking the basket.
no hesitation. You see how South Carolina in the last 3 possessions really has not waited at all.
And they're going to review this one.
Oh, that looked like it hit the backboard first.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty easy goaltend. Again, this is initiated by the referees. So yeah, they just came over here just confirming. My only question was initiated by the referees. It was, and I think this is going to be a really quick. It clearly hit the backboard, then hit. That's a goaltend at any level. What do you think about all the reviews now in our beloved sport of college basketball? Have we gone a little bit overboard?
I think there was a time possibly you could say that. I think, like many things, it's getting better and better. The better technology, the better communication. I think that's a key thing too. The other side of it, I've always been sort of saying is in and out of the timeouts, which is being addressed. And also on the free throw line. Get guys to the free throw line, get him basketball inbounds. I was a member of a team where in the SEC tournament, we had a referee, because we didn't come out in the timeout fast enough, actually put the basketball down.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then we threw a turnover and lost the game. Wasn't happy about that.
That wasn't your fault, was it?
Wasn't my fault.
Of course not.
But I'll take the blame.
Sure. Pettiford trying to get it, he wiggles free, and then tosses back to Keyshawn Hall. Auburn's got some good free throw shooters. Hall is 86%. Overton is 83%. Gamecocks will not foul. Now you just got to hope for a stop here. 1 minute to go. Around the horn, Overton thought about it, launches, and hits. And that might be a dagger. Carolina played good defense for 28 seconds. And Auburn made them pay at the end. Drive and kick, Studi on a 3. Studi delivers, and a quick timeout to make it a 5-point game, so it ain't over yet.
Just when you thought.
Let's check in with Studio. We got a quick update. Guys, take it away.
Yeah, guys, one more game coming up here on the network at the 8:30 Eastern time. We've got Josh Hubbard, your top scorer in the SEC, Mississippi State hosting Ole Miss. You know what they call it? A rivalry. We'll get there.
Yes, all right. I wasn't sure if that was a trick question, but yes, it is a rivalry. Josh Hubbard, one of the top 10 scorers in all of college basketball, one of the most electric players. And Ole Miss is playing much better basketball. Kudos to Chris Beard for getting them straightened away. All right, Dad, let's talk about this. Gamecocks have fought hard this entire ball game. They have stayed in it the entire night. You got plenty of time. You got a 5-point deficit. What's the play here?
Well, Auburn did a good job that previous possession. There was only 3 seconds left on the shot clock, and you make a 3. That is exactly what Auburn wanted on that offensive possession. And for South Carolina, you don't have to foul now. You're in a 2-possession game, and you would imagine Auburn's going to try to work that shot clock again. I don't know if Stephen Pearl would necessarily want it to have to be a 4 feet behind the 3-point line with 3 seconds on the shot clock type shot. But they did do a good job of working the clock, and then that was the result. And of course, South Carolina comes back and makes a quick 3, so you're back in the same position you were before.
If you're Carolina, you go for the steal, but if not, you foul right away?
Yeah, I don't think... I do think you can't put yourself out of position, though. If you can put some pressure on them and get a steal, but you don't want to be playing 5-on-4.
Right.
Because right now you desperately need a stop. Obviously, you cannot exchange buckets.
They come out in full court man-to-man. Hall roaming the baseline, inbounds it. And a steal. And Michi to Knox. Bucket good. It's a 1-possession game. Now you don't have to foul. 7-second differential. Hall gliding into front court, and it will be a foul on Walker. You really didn't need that.
Didn't need to foul, although that full court pressure in aggressiveness
Coach Lamont Paris basically decided, hey, fellas, like right even then, Knox. Whoa, shower jams. I mean, that's a physical way to go after a steal in that situation. So Coach Paris is, I got to imagine that at timeout, he said, fellas, listen, do not worry about fouling. We need to get a steal here. If foul happens, it happens.
And then the foul on Hall, who's their best free throw shooter at 86%. You didn't have to have that. You had a 7-second differential. So I think that's one where if Lamont had a timeout, he could have called it and said, hey, we don't need to foul here. So back to a 2-possession game. And for Carolina, you don't necessarily need a 3, but you do need a bucket, and you need one fast.
And maybe that's what Coach Paris was thinking. Foul, we'll come down and get a quick bucket.
Johnson in trouble. Knocked out of bounds. Boy, he killed the dribble 40 feet from the basket, and he had nobody to throw it to.
Yeah, that tells me that he was looking, that they were certainly looking for a three-point shot in that possession. And whether it was E.J. Walker skipping it to the other side from Miles Studi, and Knox had some action going on there. But I think that they're in three-point mode potentially now.
Sharif Johnson's going to inbound it. Sometimes the most dangerous guy in a play like this can be the inbounder if he gets it back for a 3. Walker to Johnson. Mongolian Mike gets it. Pump fake, bucket good. What a second half he has had, and now a timeout Auburn. So Mongolian Mike with 13 points, 11 of which in the second half. And after all the things that this Gamecock team has gone through tonight, a one-possession game with 17 seconds. Heck of an effort thus far by the underdog visiting Gamecocks.
Yeah, and that pressure-style defense that they showed, now you know that can affect Auburn. And you're in the game one possession, so you do foul, 17 seconds left. Plenty of time. Even if Auburn goes and makes both, you still got time to come back and get a 2 or 3 and still be able to play that game, foul, make Auburn make those free throws at the end of game situations. Those are different type of free throws. Those aren't the same ones you're shooting in the first half with 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, a lot more pressure for sure. Again, Carolina has no timeouts remaining.
I do like how Coach Paris was aggressive, right? Yeah. He had the opportunity to sort of play contain and see if they could get a stop on Auburn. Instead, he said, no, we're coming at you and getting a steal, and they did. Looked like Auburn was a little unsure how to break that aggressiveness.
Well, Hall is going to be the inbounder here. That first pass, the most important. See who it comes into. Doesn't come into anybody, nobody. They're going to have to burn another timeout. Auburn still has one left. That's the advantage of preserving your timeouts. You don't have to get panicky at all.
That's the advantage of having 6'9" Mongolian Mike. I don't know if we can get another clip of that. How he's his man is taking the ball out of bounds, except he's guarding 2 guys trying to come to the basket. And that's the advantage of having that size there. You see him right there. He's got this guy. He turns. He says, where am I going next? I'm coming to help right here. Mike is everywhere.
You know, the irony of this is, as Auburn has trouble inbounding the ball, that man, his teams at both Tennessee and Auburn were the most difficult in the country to inbound the ball against. They forced more turnovers and timeouts, pressuring inbounds plays. But right now, it's Stephen Pearl's Auburn team having trouble inbounding the ball.
Yeah, for South Carolina, if you are in a situation where you've got a foul, Michi Johnson's got 4, Elijah Strong has 4. We'll see who. I'm sure Michi's going to be in. I don't know about Elijah, but those are 2 dependable three-point shooters, certainly Michi Johnson. So, Michi, do not foul. Let somebody else do it.
And meanwhile, if you're Auburn, again, you've got 3 players on the floor that are good to elite free throw shooters: Overton, Pettiford, and Hall. All guys you don't mind having at the free throw line in this situation. Now you see the foul trouble on Carolina. Certainly would not want to lose Michi Johnson in this situation. A little football play. A couple go long, they go underneath, and into the hands of Hall. Perfectly executed by Auburn, and there's the foul. You've seen a lot more of that play utilized in basketball. It very much looks like a football play where your inbounder's the quarterback. You got 3 receivers on a go route, and then you got 1 on a cross.
Well, I think it's all about what's difficult for the defender to defend, and if it's something he hasn't done his career, like how many times do they really play that against him?
Well, Hall leads the country in free throws. That's now 122.
Yeah, good job by Auburn keeping the basketball in their 2 best free throw shooters' hands, Pettiford and Hall.
Well, I mean, same situation if you're Carolina. You got time, quick bucket, foul, and then desperation if it gets to that point. Michi will preserve some time on the clock. Now picks it up. Now into front court. They work it around. Got to get a shot off, guys. Deep 3. Got it with 3.9. It's a 2-point game. You got to foul right away if you're Carolina. And Stephen Pearl calls his last time out. Says we're not gonna gamble on this bad boy. Michi just loves logo 3s.
Well, you thought maybe they would get a look there in the corner with Mike, and Michi looks at the shot clock, and knew at that moment that he had to get it up. I'm sure Overton, he could do it over. He would have been chest to chest and denying that pass back to Michi Johnson. Because that's what, I mean, we've been watching Michi Johnson play for the last 3 seasons.
I can't imagine this review would be anything other than how much time is on the clock. We definitely don't have to debate whether this was a 2 or a 3. Now let's see when it goes through the net. They might add a couple of ticks. Maybe a tick. No, it's on 3.9 right now. Maybe 4.1 is the verdict. Tell you what this does. A little additional time for the Gamecocks to set up the press, and they add a 1/10 of a second, 4.0.
It's be fun to watch a counter. Coach Paris has a counter to this style, bringing the ball out of bounds.
Anybody got to run a post corner? Maybe a button hook? Hall again, the inbounder. Here they go. In the pattern. And a foul. I think they got Knox on a hold of Overton. And Knox is pleading his case saying, I didn't do it, man. I didn't do it. Take a look at the top of your screen.
I thought I saw a jersey tug, I'll be honest with you. Top left right there. I don't know what that symbol was I just put on the screen, but it's supposed to be a circle. He's saying he gave him the business. Gave him the business.
Now, assuming it holds up, it's 2 free throws with 4 seconds left. If he misses just 1, you got a chance.
Right.
You don't have timeouts, but 4 seconds is enough time to get a decent shot. You can't have an appeal. Lamont's got no timeouts left, so that's not in play.
This is great.
What are we doing now?
Oh, Coach Paris has called the whole team over. And I think the referees are saying, listen, you have to have 2 guys on the block at least. And he's coaching his guys up there during the first free. Have to be on the line.
Come on over.
Come on over me. Let's talk this out.
Okay. Well, this free throw is everything. Got to make it. If you make it, it's ball game. Unless you commit the silliest of fouls. And he does. Long pass, front court, and out of bounds with 2.8, and Auburn is going to improve to 2 and 3 in SEC play. Another valiant effort by Lamont Paris' squad here after a tough loss in Fayetteville. Gave Auburn everything they could ask for. Auburn is going to inbound it from that coffin corner, and it's still a dangerous play.
Like you said, the only way Auburn could lose this is see a 4-point play or some sort of technical violation, but good job right there. Getting the ball in bounds, most important thing.
Another win for this Auburn squad in the jungle. Comes down to the wire. Stephen Pearl and the Auburn Tigers, their 10th consecutive win over the South Carolina Gamecocks. That'll do it for us. For Pat Bradley and our entire SEC Network crew, this is Mike Morgan saying so long from the jungle, where your final score, the Tigers 71 and the Gamecocks 67. We've got Davian Fishback, we've got Ron Slay, we've got Dari Noka, ready to get you set for a review and preview of everything that is SEC basketball.
Hey, all right, so we'll just take care of this on the air. Philip, can you hear us? Give us thumbs up if you can hear us.
I hear you.
He got it. All right, let's go. We just wanted to make sure, man. We know that it's loud. Where did this come from?
Hello?
Tell us about where your performance came from. How did this happen in this fashion today?
I just want to say thank you for my teammates to finding me in good positions, and I just letting game to come to me, and we need to continue this winning strike. Yeah.
Jovic, could you please tell us what is your nickname?
My nickname?
Yes.
I have a lot of nicknames here.
What do they like to call you in the jungle?
Oh, Jovic, yeah.
Jovic,
Yeah.
Jovic? Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Philip, I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you, okay? Kako si, desi bratić, dobro večer. Whoa!
Oh, desi brate. You're good.
Listen, I played in Serbia for a little while, so that's about all I have. But you played an excellent game tonight. How would you evaluate how you played? What was the best part of how you feel like you played tonight?
I think, I gave a lot of points, but I think defensively I helped team a lot, and I'll be happy if next game I don't score. I'll be happy to make right play for this team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, I know this is not going to translate directly, but how would you say War Eagle in Slavic, your native tongue?
Ratni orao, War Eagle, yeah.
Say it one more time.
Ratni orao.
Ratni oro.
Yeah.
Good job, big fella. Great, man. That's good, man. That's good.